Throughout the history of the world, there have been many attempts made at stopping crime, or at least slowing down criminal activities and behaviors. For the most part, these attempts have been made by a small division of officers assigned to enforce the laws of the land, those laws and ordinances that have been passed by the legislation of the government to protect its people. These divisions or departments rank from the smallest group or department from the smallest communities who have been charged with enforcing the laws and protecting that community to much larger departments who have been charged with enforcing the laws of an entire state, province, region, or even a country. Regardless of their size or their structure, they each held the same responsibility. However, while their responsibility may have been the same to the jurisdiction which they protect, the approach to these duties have been quite different over the years, and have varied in their nature. America has experienced its share of changes in its approach to law enforcement. From the early days, when reaction to crime and punishment seemed to be what was most important, to more modern day community policing and proactive measures. Kelling and Moore said this. They said, "Policing, like all professions, learns from experience." In other words, policing in any condition or location is an ever-changing process. Each step that has been taken along this way, along this journey of this path of transformation, has been one of trial and error. We've learned from what we've done. While this process may have been found more quickly for some than others, not all have adopted the same style of policing, but some have found what it took for them, and they've stuck with it. For the most part, we have shifted away over the years in America from reactive and have begun to move toward proactive. We have shifted from reactive and begin to be more proactive, focusing more on community policing and getting away from that strong arm of the law. Community policing allows for crime prevention rather than simply crime response through a working relationship between the police and the community and the law enforcement agents that represent them. This is done effectively when police are part of the community, when the community takes an interest in the law enforcement, and when they form a relationship and a bond together between the two. One of the most important things that has been learned by many agencies who have tried to incorporate community policing is that police have a better chance of deterring crime if they learn the inner workings of the community and the citizens themselves. Excuse me. In his article, The Development of American Police, Ucita said that we learned that a preventative police force would act as a deterrent to criminals and will be in the best interest of society. This means that the agency as a whole must become a part of the community. It means that neighborhood watches, attending public functions, school resource programs, and many other proactive programs just such as these have been implemented for agencies to do just that. Police have become visible to the public not only when the police were needed, but when they were not needed. This gives the community a sense of safety. It gives them a sense of understanding when they can see their police in action. Secondly, when law enforcement begins to take an active part, an active role in the community, the citizens have access to a better form of law enforcement because they are able to understand the inner workings of law enforcement and what they are able to do and what they are able to not do. Through these proactive outreach programs, the citizens of the community become familiar with what the inner workings of the department that represent them. They're able to differentiate between what they see on TV and those far-fetched shows such as CSI and NCIS and what real police work looks like. Many programs have been implemented by both police and citizens that have been created just to help improve this relationship. Open houses, demonstrations of specialized departments, citizens law enforcement academies, and ride-along programs have been incorporated for the furtherance of this relationship and to provide an understanding from both perspectives, both from law enforcement and from the community. These programs are intended to improve community policing relationships, to educate the public, and to further implementation of community policing strategies. Finally, as law enforcement is able to become a part of the community, as the community is able to understand what it is their law enforcement departments are capable of, a relationship is formed between the police and the community that works for the greater good of the community. Because law enforcement agencies have opened their doors and shared their ideas, the community is able to give feedback. They're able to give their ideas and expectations of what they think their law enforcement should provide. Community watches and Citizens Academy graduates help extend the reach of the law. They become a part of the community. After all, who knows the community better than community members themselves? Town and community meetings also play an important role in this relationship because it gives a chance for dialogue to find out what this side feels and what this side feels. I hope in this short presentation I've given you an idea of what community policing looks like and what it should be capable of. By becoming a part of the community, law enforcement is better able to deter crime, by creating an understanding between themselves and the citizens of their community. As has been established in the last few minutes, this relationship goes both ways. It's a responsibility of both the community and law enforcement to work on this relationship. This relationship, when properly cared for, will be a long-lasting and very successful relationship. Community policing allows for crime prevention rather than crime response through a working relationship between the citizens of the community and the law enforcement agencies that represent them. Is it a perfect relationship? Absolutely not. But for those who have implemented community policing, it has worked for them. Thank you.